Hey guys, in this video I'll show you how to do different things with your custom projectile. So this will probably be a pretty long video because there's a lot to cover. So let's just get right into it. So once you're here at your project, let's just go ahead and go into our custom projectile. So in my case it is an arrow, but that's going to be fine. So what if I wanted to make a sound play when it's destroyed? Then we're gonna have to do using Terraria.audio, and we will go ahead and do public override kill, and in here we're going to do sound engine dot play sound sound id dot item. Let's just do item 14. That is a bomb sound, so there we go. That will play a sound. But now what if I wanted a projectile to be released when it's killed? Well, no, when the projectile is destroyed. Then we'll just do in here projectile dot new projectile, and in here we're gonna do projectile dot inherit source projectile. That basically gets the source of the projectile. Now the position is just going to be projectile dot position, and now the velocity I'll just do it straight up, so vector 2, and we could go straight up, so vector 2 or new vector 2. In here I'm gonna do 0 for the x, and let's just do 5 for the y. So, okay, after that we'll have to do the type, so I'll just do projectile dot type. Okay, now let's also do the damage. I'll set that to 8, knockback to 4. Without the owner, you're just gonna do projectile dot owner. That's it. So that should work. Let's try it out. But before we test it out, you probably shouldn't use the same projectile because it will become a loop, and it will just, I'll show you what will happen. So because the new projectiles will also make a clone of yourselves, this will happen. Yes, and I don't think you want that, so go and just use another projectile. Instead of this projectile, I'll go ahead and use projectile ID dot wooden arrow friendly. There we go. Now let's test it out. So last thing before we test it, I'm going to put a minus value in the velocity. I'll just do something like -3, because if you do a positive or like not a minus number, then it will just go down, not up. So let's go and reload your mod and try it out. It should work, so let's just try it out. Boom. A wooden arrow should go up and down, and it should deal damage. Let's test it out. Okay, so you actually have to hit something, but so if you go from the top, how's that? There we go. Now you can see it's pretty hard to hit it with an enemy that doesn't move, but yeah, that still works. Now what I wanted dust to come out while the projectile is still moving. Well, so you can either make the dust always be on the projectile, which I think I've done a video about that, so I won't cover today. But it is also possible to make a small periods of dust come out while the arrow is still in the air. So I'll show you how to do that. So you can see it has a dust, but yeah, I'll explain this. So go ahead and do projectile dot AI 0 plus plus. That basically sets a timer, kinda timer. It's just a variable that will be 1 will be added to it every tick, I think. I think that's every tick, so okay, go ahead and do if projectile dot AI 0 is equals to, let's just do something like 40, or make sure to do more or equals to 40. There we go. That will basically just, or not, let's just change it to 30. So that should go ahead and execute this, run this code every 30 seconds. It won't do that, but you can make it do that by doing projectile.ai 0 equals to 0. So if you don't do this, then it will do it every millisecond or every tick after 30 ticks. But because you done that, this code should only run after half a second. Okay, that was pretty complicated, but it's fine. So now let's go ahead and make the dust. So let's go ahead and make a for loop. That basically, for loop is basically just a loop that runs how many times you want it to run. So I will change this number to 12. Now let's go ahead and make a new dust. New dust. Okay. Now once you've done that, just do projectile.center 1 1, the usual, and now go ahead and add the dust ID. I'll just use ash for this one, maybe, or I'll just use a blue torch. There we go. That should be it. Oh, go ahead and rename your dust, so D-dust maybe. We also wanted to have no gravity, so I'll just do that. Now, let's go ahead and test it out. Yeah. So it won't work if you have zeros, but just make every code that look like this to that. So now let's test it out. So go ahead and go ahead and reload your mod and replace the zeros to ones, and now then go and roll. And once you have done all that, you can test it out. Boom! You can see small like blue things come out. Yeah. That's now. What if you wanted an explosion of projectiles to happen once you die? No, once the projectile is killed, not just that. Well, then I'll show you how to do that. So in order to make an explosion of arrows, then you'll have to do then first of all you will have to do another for loop. I'll use 12 again. Okay, and now just put this projectile script in the for loop. And now just delete the velocity part. Now go ahead and do vector 2 new velocity equals to velocity, or projectile dot velocity dot rotated by random, and just do math helper dot 2 radians, and just do a big number like 180 degrees. There we go, and just go ahead and put that into here, new velocity. Okay, now go ahead and reload and then try it out. So in game, you just try it out and it should work. Boom, it's full again. Yeah, it's pretty overpowered if you just have it like that, but it works. So you can change the amount of projectiles by changing this number. You can make it an insane number like 5,000, but that will probably crash your game and everything. And yeah, so another thing I'll show you is how to do explosion with dust instead of projectiles. Okay, so just go into your script again, or your CS project, and in here we are just going to do int the dust. Let's do dust dot new dust. I just do projectile dot center 1 dust ID dot, let's just do ash then. There we go. That should be it, but I want it to have no gravity, so yeah. Now that's it actually. So let's try it out. Okay, before I test it out, make sure that you scale or make your dust bigger, because the ash dust is so small that you probably won't be able to see it. Let's just do something like 3F. Okay, now we can go ahead and save and reload and test it out. Or before you test it out, if you want make a, or not, just test it out, I'll show you. Okay, so once you're in here, it should work. You should see a little bit of dust, but as you can see, your arrows just go into explosion, like they widen out. So if you want that to happen to your dust, just go ahead and do okay, so then you need to put this behind the code, and then you can use that. So new velocity dot x and new velocity dot I. Boom. So now that should make an an explosion. So save that and test it out. Now once you're in game, you can test it out. So let's just do boom. Now it should be more like an explosion, you can see. So the 12 particles isn't very much, but yeah. Well, and if you want more dust particles, you can just change this number. But if you want less projectiles and dust, just go ahead and make another for a loop. Yeah, so that's basically it. I don't think I need to cover much more. This is the finished product, if you followed everything. So yeah, hope you guys learned something. Bye.